Test, test, test. 1, 2. All right, guys. Welcome back to the show. So we're recording an episode a little bit later than usual. I wanted to get this episode recorded before we left for the London gig that we had. Basically, the other part of the business, Bulletproof Studios. I don't know if I've actually spoken about this in the podcast. So we hire out the podcast studio to do a bit of marketing. I mean, this is mainly Jill's ship that she runs anyway, but a pretty cool gig came up where we've been down in London at the Country to Country Festival, and we've been filming a bunch of podcast interviews with the radio show Countryline and Countryline TV. So it's been pretty cool to meet some of these artists, and I'm more of the generation of, like, you scroll on TikTok and somebody's Instagram famous as opposed to like mainstream country famous, if that makes sense. So meeting a couple of like quote unquote TikTok famous people where they've got like millions of followers, that was pretty cool. It's been pretty cool. Anyway, what I realised was we took all this equipment down. The plan was to record on Thursday before we kicked off, and it's been 14, 15, 16-hour days of recording, shooting, editing content, and then back into the next day. So it's just wrapped up Sunday night, and I thought, I'll never miss a Monday. So still want to make sure we get these episodes out. And a topic I wanted to talk about was around gym etiquette. And this is only because for the first time in, 6 months, I've been working at a public gym. And I'll tell you that in just a sec. You might be wondering, why the hell am I holding a goat's head? Well, we managed to find a studio. We're staying in some apartments that has a shared kitchen, shared studio, shared like study area. There's a pool. There's a 24-hour gym. Pretty, like, as far as like London prices go, this has been great. It's been better than any hotel for cheaper, if I'm being honest. The apartment is relatively small, but like, what do you need more than a bed? The best way I can describe it is like Citizen M type apartment, like that nice small fit, probably a little bit smaller, cozy enough, but they've got all these facilities. Anyway, I found this behind me, this goat's head, which is, I don't know, is this real? If it is, pretty minging, but there we go. So let's get into it. Why are we talking about gym etiquette? What's brought this on? Well, first things first, we've not done an episode on this in a while, and these can be quite humorous, quite funny, but I think they're very important topics to talk about, and there's a good chance that some of you guys might even be doing some of these, so don't be embarrassed. Let's kind of go through them together. But the reason I want to talk about this is because on Thursday, was it? Yeah, Thursday we came down here, and a train journey, 5-6 hours. First thing I wanted to do was make sure, move the body. So I was like, let's go down and check out the gym. And it was fairly busy, but I had a squat rack, a bench, a bunch of dumbbells, and cables, like pretty standard stuff as far as like quote unquote apartment gyms or hotel gyms go. And just all these memories started coming back of what it was like to work out in a public gym. And I am so spoiled having my own place. I get that. I know I'm not a believer, but as far as gym equipment goes, like, I don't need much. A barbell, dumbbell, some heavy circles, and a dumbbell stack, and I'm good to go, man. Like, you can hit all your muscle groups within that, but that can be for a separate episode. Gym etiquette was out the window. I'm going to say this, right? I don't get the hype around wanting to go to London, be in London. I don't really get it, if I'm being honest. Jill loves it. I know a lot of you guys probably listening to this have loved it and want to go there and all these sorts of things. But see, for me, man, like, I don't know, there's something about the whole rudeness that sort of kicks about. It's like everyone is kind of living their own life and everyone's a main character, but not in the right way, if that makes sense. It's just like, yeah, get the fuck out of the way, barging in. There's just no spatial awareness. And every time I come to a place like this, I'm always like taken back with the whole, wow, like, the world is so big. Like, there's so many people in the world. Like, it's fucking crazy. And then you realise that all the problems that you have that don't really amount to anything. But then you can start getting anxiety, because then you're like, what the fuck's the point? There's so many people, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, I think we'll kick off the first point with like general gym etiquette and the whole like there's a couple of things that we'll dive into, right? But this came to the forefront of my mind working out in that public gym anyway, and I was thinking, oh man, I do not miss this at all. So I feel for all you guys and girls who are working out and you're sort of doing your thing and you're having to go through these, especially at the peak times, like your 5 o'clock, 5 p.m, 6 p.m, all that sort of stuff. So without further ado, let's get into some of them. I think I wrote a bunch down like as I was working out, and then a couple others came to mind, so we'll run through them together. I think I've got maybe 10. I might actually have 15. You might think, what the fuck, how'd you get 15? Some of them I've kind of rekindled from like an old relationship. Don't know if you can hear that, but I don't know if it's going to come up the mic. I can hear someone's shower above me. It's very worrying. Like, what's going to happen here? Like, we might have a live show. So, these are always recorded in video format as well. If you don't watch, then head over to YouTube or click on the Spotify and you'll see it. Right, anyway, gym etiquette. So this can generally make or break your experience. And if I wasn't a coach and not a personal trainer, I can understand the whole slagging, I guess, or the whole debate where anyone typically over the age of 40 and 50 kind of frown upon the gym as like, that's an egotistical place that you get to. And it's because some of these points, so these generally can make or break your experience, and it's nothing to do with supplements, nothing to do with the machines, but in fact the rules and kind of unwritten rules of gym etiquette that are totally necessary. This episode, we don't want to be that guy or girl that maybe falls into some of these habits, so let's go through them. Okay, first one that I must be honest with you, because I've got my own gym. I have a cleaner that comes into the gym. I'll clean up after my clients. See, when I work out, I don't typically clean up after myself in terms of like wiping the bench down, wiping the bars. I'm not a big sweater, if I'm being honest, but this was something that I saw, like people getting after it. You forget how kind of sweaty people can get. And I guess in the one-to-one coaching environment or the one-to-group coaching environment, when that strength session's done with them, typically I'm kind of wiping their stuff down for them anyway. It's just like I just think, well, I'm their coach, so I'm going to do that. So this one I totally forgot about, but I saw it, man. I saw some sweaty ass dudes like really putting in the work, coming off the treadmill, and I was like, fucking hell, there's like lines of sweat after them. And there was two guys in particular that they were, weirdly enough, I don't know if they knew each other, they were speaking to each other, running on a treadmill, came off and done like this whole, I don't know, like sidestep type of thing, whatever their workout. It looked like a high intensity workout. And the sweat from the treadmill over to the floor of where they were working out, it was just a trail of it. And then as you're doing this high power movement, sweat is obviously flicking off you. And I've experienced this when I've done, if that's a lie, I do clean up after myself. I'm not a big sweater, but when I have sweated in the past, like with the workouts me and Squat were doing, for example, prepping for High Rocks, I noticed, I was like, man, this place, I'm fucking dripping all over this ski erg and assault bike and whatever. And I instantly wiped them down because I thought I was kind of minging if somebody else gets in that. But anyway, back to the point. Two guys, like they're doing their thing, they're working in with each other or whatever they're doing. One guy wipes his treadmill down, the other guy didn't. And I was like, interesting. I don't know why, you just have this perceptual awareness of cutting about the gym when you're a coach, you're just paying attention to like these different things. And I was like, that's fucking mine. Somebody else is going to have to run on that. So you always want to make sure you wipe down your equipment. It's not a souvenir that you're leaving for other people. So just be mindful. If you're that guy, and you maybe even girls, it's typically a guy thing though, where you are actively sweating at bicep curls and all that sort of stuff. Look, not saying there's anything wrong with that. I used to be this guy myself where everything just felt warm. Bring a towel with you. Like, not all gyms have wipes and spray and stuff to bring down. Like, have that as your own responsibility. That's like a side note of under rule 1. Funny story, wiping down equipment wasn't something you really seen before COVID. Like, if I'm being honest, you never really saw people actively going out their way. There was the odd guys and that brought in their own gym towel and wiped their bench down and that sort of stuff, but typically speaking, it was like, oh, there's some wipes over there, or there's a spray bottle, oh, it's empty, like all that sort of stuff. And then COVID hit, the gym shut down, the gyms to reopen had to have these practices and standards in place. So, and I remember, like, I wiped this was in the heat at Pure Gym days. I was doing deadlifts, and I wiped the bar that I was holding, but I took the plates off at the side, like the bumper plates, and just re-racked them, and then sat the bar down. And there was a girl who was wanting to work in, or work in that platform after me, and she comes storming up. So I moved to, like, went to the rower next, I think it was, and the spray bottle was next to me, and she kind of stormed up and like grabbed it and drew the eyes off me, and I was like, the fuck was that all about? And then she went over and started wiping down the bumper plates, and I was like, right, come on, we're getting a bit fucking obsessive here. And I get there was a lot of scarcity in COVID, and looking back it's easy to go, but blah 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 blah, but come on, like, there's no need to be a dick. And I actually said to her, I was like, did I do something wrong? And she never responded to me. She just drew the eyes off me. I remember thinking, like, people are a bit obsessive. So as much as, yeah, wipe down your equipment, like, you don't need to be a fucking clean freak about it. This is where we get the bacteria and to build that strong immune system. Right, next one, speaking of weights and re-racking them, fucking re-rack your weights. Like, holy shit, I forgot that this was a problem. See the dumbbell rack down here? Fuck me, man. I went from 2s, 7s to 40s, like, in the top row. And I was like, what is going on? So, interestingly, I actually seen quite a lot of guys not put their weights back. Like, I even said, like, are you using this? And the response was like, nah, I'm finished, man. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just fucking, it's a good job I'm stronger than you, and I can use more than this weight. But let's say I wasn't. This would be a pain in the ass to fucking take off. Nah, I had to take them off. I'm not as strong as, I'm kidding on. But yeah, like, joking aside, like, shouldn't it be one? Like, I was working through some dumbbells, and I needed the 17 and a halves or whatever it was. Sorry, I needed the 55s, and I couldn't find the half. I was looking for the 17s, and I found one, and I was like, what the fuck's the other one? And I genuinely on a scavenger hunt to try and locate this other 17 and a half, and I just went to myself, fuck it, I'm just going to need to jump to 20s. I just need to go for it. But yeah, fuck me, man, like, re-rack your weights. And I follow gym pages and all that sort of stuff as well, but you're kind of semi-privately owned, like, so gym goer, like, I love seeing these guys post, because the corporate gyms is like, yeah, come on, please put your weights back, and it's all political and that sort of stuff. But we are independent gym owners are like, if you're fucking caught doing this, I'm going to strangle the fuck out of you. It's just funny how there's like two different communication styles. But yeah, re-rack your weights, like come on, that's just straight up. It's not good gym etiquette, and put them in the proper places, right? I don't know about you, but I was always the guy that if there was a 2.5 kilo plate on the top one, the next one down was a 5, and I saw there was a 5 put on the top one, but the space was only to put the 2.5 below. I'd always swap them about. Like, if you have that approach, that clean slate, we'll never have, well, no pun intended there, you would never have that problem, you know what I mean? So, like, don't be a dick there as well. Like, if you're putting your weights back, put them to the correct places. Not like, if you scavenge, like, here's one actually that just came back into my mind. Leg pressing. Fucking guys love the ego in the leg press, and they'll hunt down every 20 kilo plate, every 25 kilo plate in the gym, and drag them all the way over to the leg press, do 10 half reps, re-rack, and then they'll take all the plates off, but they'll just leave them around the machine. Like, okay, there might be enough space to re-rack all those 20s and 25 plates, but take them back to where you found them. Like, not all the 20 plates and 25 plates do belong at the leg press. However, side strategy, if you're a gym owner, one thing I started doing was leaving the 25s and the 20s, make sure there was enough plates so at least 200 kilos could be stacked up, 250. But it's always the ego hunters who they can do mad, crazy leg press, but they can't put a barbell on their back. Come on, man. Who wants to be that guy, eh? Anyway, that's point number 3. Let's get into number 4. This one, I was just laughing because people are playing their phone. I guess different in the gyms these days, man, just considered 5 years ago. But use your headphones. If you don't have your headphones, nobody wants to hear you fucking scrolling TikTok or being on YouTube playing your own music. There was I remember on Gym 24, a massive, like, Romanian, like, guy, and, like, I didn't have this as gym etiquette part in here, but like keeping your clothes on. This guy would take his top off and just be on the cross trainer hammering it with his gloves on and all sorts. But what he used to do is play his music, like just through a speaker on his phone. He used to say like, come on, like, one, get your fucking top back on. Two, like, come on, man, like, what the fuck, what's going on? So yeah, like, I forgot about this one. Like, you are not a DJ, and unless you're hired to be a DJ at a gym, you should not be playing music through the speakers. Keep your music to yourself. Not everybody's got different tastes, and nobody wants to hear fucking shitty ass pop. I don't know about you, see with music taste as well. Sometimes I'm embarrassed what's on my playlist, and I need to share my playlist to the gym, to the other PTs who use the gym. But I'd be embarrassed to play my playlist because I know there's always a few like cheesy fucking songs that I've put in there that I'm like, oh, this is a wee bit weird. Especially when I've got, is it K-pop? Like I put a couple of songs on. Back in the days of Gym 24 and forgot my phone was connected, and it was just on my like songs, and it went to a K-pop song. I was like, this song's a pelter, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm in a public gym, what the fuck, why is my phone connected? Right, anyway, this one's next one, respecting personal space. Like, I don't know why, like sometimes it's always events, it's always like, I've noticed it more at the country festival, but even in Glasgow, even wherever you are in the world, see when you're queuing for something, there's always like, depending on where you go, there's like a demographic of people who just they're just breathing. You can feel their breath on your neck, and you kind of turn around and like, you fucking good man, like we're queuing for this line, like you're not going to get there any faster by closing that distance. That's honestly one of my biggest bugbears, not just with the gym but just in general. So inside the gym this happens as well. It's like not respecting personal space, and I think it's enhanced even more with the whole fucking High Rocks thing, where people are taking over so much shit. It's like, you can't, like, bro, you can't do burpee broad jumps and then expect to do walking lunges like in another bit. Like, use the same space. So yeah, you don't need to breathe down someone's neck while you're waiting for a machine. It's like, you get many more sets left? Yeah, we'll get 2 more. Right, cool. And they're fucking right there. So I found that funny. But yeah, respect the personal space, man. Right, next one. Dropping weights, right? I wrote this one down. Just kicked the camera. Wrote this one down because it's something that I kind of understand, but there's an extent of how much you play in this, right? So you don't need to. There's a way to drop the weights, right? Let's probably start there. When you're hitting your heavy reps and you struggle with that last rep, every single set shouldn't be like fucking 2 failure. And then it's like, boom. Like, let's say dumbbell press. Dumbbell press is the most common one that people just chuck their weights about, right? People will just like, rather than bring everyone can always have the control over that rep right down towards their chest. But some guys are like halfway up and they're just like, nah, fuck it, and chuck them out to the sides and actually properly throw them, so then they project across the fucking gym floor. But bring them down and like have a bit of control and stability over your movement. You'll get fucking stronger as well. Like, what's going on? Like, everybody's like in the gym, or typically the type of person this comes from is someone trying to get bigger, right? And it's so funny, it's like they'll train to failure but then just chuck the weights off, and it's an ego thing. It's like, yeah, look at me, I just hit the 60s, just hit the 70s, just hit the 80s. Like, who fuck cares, man? Like, you're big enough, you don't need your ego inflated even more. So competitive powerlifting, deadlifting and all that sort of stuff, I get it, right? I get there's a setting where you're working on, like the deadlift, for example, you're just working on the explosive of hitting the lift up to the top and then it can just be dropped. Like, I totally understand that. But see, if you're not competing in deadlifting, and I get you want to have a PR and hit PR numbers on your deadlift, but never once have I deadlifted and never controlled it down to the bottom. It's just not a thing that you do. It's just not a thing that I've done. And I've never really understood it out with the powerlifting. I understand it if you're a powerlifter. Understand if you're kind of in that environment and kind of in and out. It doesn't excuse it. It's still a bit of pain in the ass and fucking can get people uneasy. And side story with this sort of stuff, like, I've trained a lot of nervous gym people, more so in the world where I was in the public gym and I would get all sorts of clients. But for a while there, I was getting a lot of clients that was really nervous to step foot in the gym and got referred through a friend and that sort of stuff. And it was my job to get them confident and get them kind of feeling like the gym is a place that they belong. And see the loud banging all the time, I get that can be like a proper trigger point for some people. And I would see it when we're engaging in conversation and we're talking, and you'd hear a big slam, a big bang, and the sort of jerk, and they'd be and anxiety's through the roof. But that was my job as a trainer, to expose them to that in the right way. Different gyms will have different like environments. I would never take a gym beginner to any of the extreme gyms, for example, because intimidation factor is just fucking through the roof. So finding the right gym can be another thing. Naturally, it's an episode that I wanted to do at the start of the year that just remembered. So we'll circle back to that one soon. Right, next point, number 8. Number 7, sorry. Don't interrupt someone mid-set. Like, I don't understand this, right? And tons of times where I've seen this happen in the past, but recently in the gyms, like it's like someone's like mid cable chest flying. The guy's like he's standing in front of him, eyeing him up, man. The guy's losing his concentration, and he's trying to get his attention. And then all he was doing was, "Here, do you mind if I use the pull up bit when you're done?" It's like, just wait till he's done and then have that conversation. It's like a sacred rule. It's a sacred rule, should I say? Being mid-set, do not start a conversation. And a bit of a side note: if you're my client, right, and you start a conversation midway through your set, your fucking weight's going up because you're not lifting heavy enough either. So you can imagine it can be really dangerous in a more of a compound setting where you're getting locked in mentally. You're trying to be there. There's a lot to be said about being mentally locked into the workouts that you're doing, and then someone coming and interrupt you and it's like, "Hi mate, can you give me many more sets left?" Like, yeah, fucking, can I do my rep first? like no one's doing any more than 20 reps anyway, so like give it a rest and chill out. I guess this next point number 8, speaking to people, should I say, ask before using equipment, right? And this works two ways, right? So there is it's hard. This is a hard one to juggle because I've been on both sides of this, where depending on how you open up, it's all to do in the communication part, right? And I get the gym is like egos and everybody's fucking working on themselves, and there's a lot of comparability and like silent competition with each other. But when you're using multiple pieces of equipment, one, you kind of need to expect it's like, look, right, cool, how long are you using that for? And you should probably let the other person work in. That's another sort of gym etiquette rule. We'll come back to that. But when you are looking to use equipment and you know there's somebody using it, you're always aware, right? Sometimes you might not, right? And that's just that, right? But be aware of your surroundings a little bit more, especially in the gym environment. Like, look around, like, oh, that guy's using the chest press and pull-ups, and then it's like, right, okay, I want the chest press. Oh, it's free, I can just go use it. No, the first thing that comes to my mind is the guy that was doing the pull-ups, and is he still using that? And even though there's a good chance that he's maybe not, I'll still try and catch his eye, like, are you finished with this? And it just makes for a better experience for everyone. I hate the guys just sort of bully their way into it, because I've seen that happen as well, where someone kind of goes to fill up the water bottle and comes back and they've put their jumper down or their phone down, and guys have just kind of kicked out of the way and just went into it. Pure Gym in Nottingham was quite bad for this. I mean, we're talking 7-8 years ago, so completely different scene now. But I used to see it all the time, man. I was like, man, it's ruthless. And that's how you have to be in there quite frequently to build a bit of rapport and relationship of the other regular gym goers. So you can say, I'm just going to nip to the toilet. Do you mind just watching that for us? And all that sort of stuff. Right, number 10. Unsolicited gym advice. Girls, I feel it most for you, right? I see it. The TED Talks that you guys get on macronutrients, micronutrients, best exercises, blah, 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 blah. Holy shit, that happens so much. JD gyms, I think, are some of the maddest experience. Like, I've seen it, like, just guys just like fucking sign in. It's like, excuse me, like, you know you're doing that all wrong. It's like, yeah, fuck off, mate. Like, and it's all, again, it comes back to the communication. It's all to do with how you handle the kit, right? I struggle with this, right? I'm a coach. I want to help as many people as I can, and if I see, like, you kind of read the situation, because I've been in the gyms where I can see someone really struggling with that, and I'll just say, like, there was a girl who was on the lap pool, and she was yanking it, but it was banging, and albeit I worked in this gym at the same time, I kind of waited. I didn't want to interrupt her mid-set. 2, like, she had her headphones on and all that sort of stuff. And 3, I'd never seen her in the gym before, so I kind of make an assumption, right, okay, this person's probably a newbie. And then, so tried to catch her attention with, since she made eye contact, I was like, hi, how you doing? And just being someone who works there, it's like, you getting on all right? Used this machine before? And I was like, yeah. It's like, yeah, I've used it a couple of times. And it's like, do you mind if I give you a couple of pointers just because it's banging? They're like, we'll make it more effective. Like, there's something along those lines, maybe not quite as direct as that. But I can remember the person being very like uptight that I was speaking to them. So you need to read the situation. And this is personal trainers who work in public gyms. This is our jobs. Like, as coaches, we should be out on that gym floor all the time. I don't see personal trainers who sit in the break rooms and sit inside fucking behind cover all day. Like, I get our job can be very demanding if you get 7-8 hours of PTing and that sort of stuff, but get out there, man. Like, your job is to make that gym experience better, and you're part of the brand that you're working for, whether you like it or you don't. But you're choosing to work there, so you're on board with the being a part of that business, and a big part of that business is how you make people feel. And the only people given kind of unsolicited advice, like, in a way, should be the coaches and personal trainers of the gyms. But so many of them kind of are kind of either new to the job and still working on that skill, or 2, don't care enough, or 3, are just interested in the banter and all that sort of stuff. So there is going to be times where people who regularly go to the gym, they are going to be more, or they step up to the plate. It's normally the older guys, like the old school bodybuilders and all that sort of stuff. But unsolicited gym advice, like, it's some people you can, as I said, read the situation. I remember, here's an example. So I remember I was doing pause reps. Okay, so I was doing overhead pause reps with the barbell, and I was pressing at the top. I brought it all the way down. I was pressing at the top. I brought it all the way down. And I remember a PT came up to him mid-set as well. Like, he's hovering about, so that threw me off because I could see him in the fucking mirror. I re-racked. I remember him saying to me, look, see if you come down halfway and just go straight back up, man, that'll fry your shoulders. And it's like, cool, bro. I'm not fucking in here to fry my shoulders. I'm working on pause reps and building overall strength in my shoulders, and a full range of motion that I didn't have. And that stuck with me because I remember I was like, fuck, man, like, he probably thinks, like, all intentions he meant good, but it doesn't mean, like, you should be giving out advice. Like, read the situation, man. And it's never from a woman, right? It's always the guys, because fucking egos are inflated just because you've hit biceps every Friday for the last 10 Fridays. You think you're a bicep connoisseur or expert that you can give out all these tips. But all joking aside, like, it can make that can be one that really breaks someone's experience of going, I'm not going back to that gym because that guy's going to be there. That can happen for many different reasons. 2 guys as well. Like, even I actually remember another experience in DW Fitness, or what was it? DW Sport? Was that the gym? I can't remember. It's not a chain anymore. But I remember a PT going, here, look, just keep on, do these behind the neck presses, and then I was like, man, like, I'm not training shoulders. Like, I think back then, what was I training back then? My typical chesty, and it just made me go, I'm not going back to that gym because that guy's always there, and he's gonna be like, all, like, it's like the guys that you see in the street they've got clipboards and they're trying to sell you something. Like, you start detouring away from it, and it's the same happens with the unsolicited advice. Right, next one, pretty easy one. Like, keep the gym clean. Right, come on. Like, this, I guess, ties into the previous point, but apparently not. Like, people are leaving their bottles, their cans of Monster, their fucking pre-workout snack or whatever it is, and they're just leaving it about. But more importantly, see, when it comes to chalk, oh man, chalk's a bitch. And I understand this now as a gym owner, but if you're spilling, like, let's say you spill like a protein shake or drink, like, yeah, okay, right, go clean it up, but people straight up just leave that generally happens. So just interrupted, somebody just randomly walked in. Obviously this is a public area and that sort of stuff, but I think they get more of a fright than me because I've got a whole like streaming / podcast set up, and this is used to play chess and read books. But anyway, let's get back to it. Right, so that was the unsolicited advice part. Next one, I guess, is there's a couple that we can go through, but this one can be a touchy subject because it's a real awkward conversation to have. So I've had these conversations in the past in previous what do you call them, like workplaces, where I was a leader and like nobody expects you to smell like a rose or anything like that, but seeing in the workout environment, like there's some dangerous smells out there, and I've had these conversations in the workplace, which is, I would say, even more awkward to have, because at least in the gym it's like, right bro, come on man, you here bro, you stink. It's like, oh shit, do I? It's like, yeah man, like that sweat is bad. So wearing deodorant and having like clean clothes to work out in and all that sort of stuff might seem mental, but that should be standard practice. And as I said, like in a gym, like you're not expected to smell like roses and like roses, but it needs to be hygienic, man. Like the flip side of this is, like, you know, we all know those people, the single guys that's going in there and they're spraying all sorts, and every time you smell it, you're like, man, you just put so much fragrance on you. Like, I cannot breathe being next to you. I am generally suffocated trying to do my workout because your cologne or whatever fragrance that you've had. But yeah, you're like, these conversations can be awkward. Again, this one falls on the gym staff, I'm afraid. This one falls on you guys that are in that public gym environment, your personal trainers. And look, if it's the same guy and same person you keep seeing, like, try and work up a rapport. I've had to do it. Man. It's so awkward, and it's like, hi, how you doing? How you getting on? Blah blah blah. Try and work up a kind of stable rapport, and it's different in the workplace because, I mean, a couple of people actually reported this person smelling bad, and a conversation had to be had from a concern and a place of safety, and make sure everything's all right and that sort of stuff. In the gym, like, you only see them for an hour and they're out, and it's like, was it just a bad day? And then you see them again and again, then again. It's like, right, rule of three here. Like, let's try and see if there's something that we can do to help that guy. Like, don't just randomly like start spraying deodorant. Like, oh, you want one? You want to spray like a chewing gum? It doesn't need to be like that. But yeah, like that's probably a big one, right? And that kind of brings us on to, was that point 11? So I wrote down a couple more, but they're all sort of blending into each other. The one thing I wanted to finish on, because this is what happened to me, was the whole mannerisms inside the gym, right? Mannerisms, like, it doesn't take much to be nice. A smile, thank you, no, all good, thanks. Like, these sort of general practices and basic manners to have as a decent human being can be so far gone with some people. It blows my mind. And it obviously there's different cultures and all that sort of stuff as well, which I get and understand, but that can't be an excuse, right? It's being in a gym, we all have the one goal, and that's the self-improvement, the journey of fitness, the journey of better health. And it doesn't take much to be polite and be pleasant and be respectful and all this sort of stuff. And I saw this happen. Like, a guy he was in the, it's always a powerlifter. I wouldn't say the guy was a powerlifter, but he was trying to be, right? He was trying his best. He certainly had the grunt down. He had the noises down, the slamming down. He had all the equipment. Gym bag was on the bench and he was using the squat rack. And then his jumper was on the dumbbell part. He was taking up this whole space. And noticed there was also a couple other guys in there and that sort of stuff, and I was just wondering, like, anyone who doesn't have confidence being in the gym is never really going to interrupt that, because I know for a fact, working with hundreds of people by now, that the biggest thing that people fear is going up to someone saying, here, have you got many more sets left, or can I work in with you, right? Those two common phrases that are totally accepted in that gym environment, but so many people scare away because they have to speak to someone, right? And this guy, like, was using all that, and I was like, right, okay, I'm deadlifting. He's got 2 barbells just now, so I just said, he was sitting on the bench. I was like, you using this rack? He's like, yeah, I'm going to be a little while, man. I think he said he's going to be like 6, what did he say? Like 6 sets or something like that, whatever it was he was doing. And I said, are you using the bench? And he was like, no. And I was like, it was like this awkward delay of like nothing. And I was like, he was sitting on the bench, right? I was, cool, do you mind if I use it? And then his headphone, like, he was voice noting his pal on his phone. He just stood up, went away, and I was like, fucking weird. Like, I don't think I was non-polite or anything. Anyway, just kind of done my thing. Like, you get numb to it, you get used to it, like being in the gym space, and there's always especially if you work out around the world. It's just how different people react. So you kind of do your thing, and a bench, he's doing his thing, and I need some weights that he's using. I said, are you using this one? And he's just like, no. I was like, right, cool. Do you mind if I take it? He's like, just like a wee gentle nod. Like, okay. I was like, maybe he'll be a bit nervous. Anyway, done my stuff. Then left all his weights on the bar, walked away from it and all that sort of stuff. But the point of this is, right, like, it doesn't take much to be to be a decent human being, right? And the other side, like, someone's always going through some shit as well, and sometimes it could just be, it's a place of, like, relieving a lot of stress and being in your own time, and it can really make or break, like, just somebody's experience depending on a random interaction, all that. Now, likewise, if me kind of coming into it and trying to match that same energy and buff and kind of like come on, mate, like, what the fuck, like, you're taking up all this space, and kind of throwing a fit about it. It's like, no, just, I'm going to focus on me, do my own thing and all that sort of stuff. But the other side of that is, like, you don't need to be, like, overly friendly. I've got a couple of clients I need to pull back, right? Sometimes I need to say, it's like, that workout I've programmed for you do not need to be in that gym for 2 hours. And I get it can be a social factor, but right now we're working on your health and fitness. And if there's too much yapping and not enough talking, like, I love that your social interaction score is going up, but your actual health and fitness score isn't quite there because you've not managed to get through your workout. You know what I mean? So a simple head nod sometimes, like, get into a nice lift. And I get you don't need to go into full blown conversations with everyone, but just an acknowledgement sometimes can be the whole, right, okay, they're handling their shit, like, boom, done. So yeah, that was one of the points I wanted to close on, because I thought I actually forgot that happened. I didn't think it would happen in this day and age where we have with Joey Swollen internet, like, all that sort of stuff. I could have talked about tripod and all sorts in this episode, but yeah, I think that's pretty much much of a muchness. We might do, like, wee segments on that in the future episodes. But yeah, like, those are some of the main points, and if you get by in life, you always hear of that person's always getting into fights, always getting into trouble, always getting into bother. In a way, they kind of bring it on themselves because of their demeanour, their attitude, their swagger, how they go about what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes you have to look within going, am I the problem? Is it me? And sometimes it might. Like, this is your chance to work on that skill. So there you have it. It's like 13, 12, like, essential gym etiquette rules to keep peace, right? Keep a great experience, because as much as I'm on this mission to get as many people as I can involved with health and fitness and working on their fitness by lifting weights, you guys are a part of that too. We all need to come together with this experience, and you don't have to like everyone, but we can all be respectful, we can all be polite and pleasant, and that's what's going to get us through this. So let's go and make your workout smoother. Let us know in the comments, send us a message with some gym etiquettes that you think I missed over, and I'll maybe do a little mention on the next episode. One of the next episodes is going to be a Q&A as well, so keep an eye on Instagram, follow me at Coach Crossar. And yeah, as always, let's go out there, let's get strong, lift heavy, be respectful, and yeah, get after it. So, thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. So a makeshift setup, back to the normal setup next time. We have a great interview coming out with Jerry Kennedy. My head is absolutely fried now. Owner of AFIT. Great chat with him on last week, so that's coming out this Thursday, and then we have another fantastic episode for you next Monday. So until then, I will see you then, and yeah, enjoy your day.